been thinking some more about, this new message of us saying, I am and I am God. That must sound really arrogant and high-minded to some ears and eyes when they read that. And of course, I see it also expressed, and I see how I am expressing it. And we have to make sure that this conviction isn't just something that we pick up in our mind, in our intellect. To accept and perceive the notion of I am God, just with our intellect will make us sort of high-minded people, and will be in a way a lot like many Christians are that practice following the Bible intellectually, and they're not always the kindest people to meet and encounter. It is the same with this I am conviction. I am that I am. The name of God, the identity of God. I am identifies divinity, identifies God. But it must be realized in the depths of the soul. When it's merely intellectual, an intellectual consent, the fruit of unconditional love just is not there. It's like stick-on fruit. And energetically, you can tell that it's not authentic. It's not embodied in soul. It's just embodied in the mental, in the intellect. And it's not flattering at all when it is expressed from the intellect. I amness experienced as a knowing in the soul is like a bubbling brook of fresh water in the desert. It will affect us on every level of our being, physically, emotionally, psychologically, and intellectually. It'll be like a well-watered garden of love. And it's accompanied by compassion and mercy. The energy is just inviting and welcoming. And not to toot my own horn, but just to give it to use myself as an example. I've noticed this more recently. When I enter a room or a place, and the people usually they have frowns on their faces, and they're not really they're withdrawn into themselves, and they're not usually in a happy countenance. As soon as I enter a room or a place and I make eye contact with those people, with my divine, contented, loving, accepting countenance, instantly I'm changing the energy in the room, and everybody's faces light up. The energy is raised to a lighter, more happy, jovial energy in an instant. And that is the fruit and the energy that is generated from a soul convinced, a soul that is in knowing or gnosis. And it doesn't require any words, just the spark in your eye of reflecting the life that is in the soul, how we feel about ourselves, and how we think of ourselves creates the spark in the window to our soul. The liveliness of our soul, that spark comes through our eyes. That's why it says the eye is the window to the soul. And people instantly feel the energy of that spark. And it ignites them like a match ignites a wick. And that has been my experience. And that's what made me think that it's not enough to just consent to the truth of I am and that we are divine with our mental, with our intellect. It's not going to bear the same fruit. It's got to come from the knowing of our soul, and our soul will generate the energy that will light up the world around us. That's the light of the world. That's the spark in our eyes. People know this energy. They feel this energy before we even open our mouths, before we even say anything. They receive the accepting and energy, and it opens them up. It lights them up, and it's a beautiful thing. It really is a beautiful thing. So let's make sure that we're not just believing another theology of I amness, but that our soul is convinced at the deepest level that I am God. I am that. I am that spark, that light of God. My soul is that. And that comes through in my eyes. That comes through in my smile, in my countenance. And people generally are very happy around me that are in my company. It doesn't take long for them to relax, open up. They feel safe around me. And that causes them to open up, to lighten up, and to feel that peace, that everlasting peace. Yeah, so I just thought I would make a video about that. Have a great day, guys.